Hello friends and welcome to Share Dem Smiles. I'm Alyssa and today I'm going to be trying out a new type of video that I've been playing around with the idea of doing for some time now. Since I still don't have the editing software all figured out yet, I am not able to do it quite the way I want to, but hopefully you'll still enjoy it. So what I'm going to do today is going to be an Upon First Listen album review. I haven't looked anything up on this album previously. I have only listened to it once. I jotted down some of my ideas of how I felt about it, and now I'm going to share them with you. The album that I'm going to do today is So Good by Zara Larsson, and so let's just jump right into it. The first song on the album was called What They Say, and it was definitely a slower start to the album than what I had expected. It wasn't a slow song, but just compared to some of the music that I had been listening to before that came from her, I expected her to start with something a little bit bigger. However, this was a good start to it. It definitely showed off her vocals, I believe, with some different runs and the range of it. But what I also really enjoyed about this as the opener for the album is it had an uplifting message. The lyrics of it were definitely more positive and a great way to start the album. The second song was Lush Life, which I am very familiar with because I work in retail and this song plays at my work every day. I still like the song. It hasn't really completely worn on my nerves yet or anything like that. There are definitely songs I would rather listen to that I would rather listen to this song before I would have to listen to those ones again, for sure. But it's definitely a fun song, and the background of it kind of sounds like ringtones to me at different points, but I really like it. The third song is called I Would Like, and it's just kind of a generic fun pop song that just kind of continues on with what she's already been doing with the album. And the fourth song is called So Good, and it features Ty Dolla $ign, and it's a fun pop song as well. It's also where the album gets its name. Now, as a song itself, I don't know if I would have picked it to be the title of the album because it doesn't really say a lot to me as like a standalone or really make a statement type of song. It's just kind of, you know, another song on this pop album. But she probably has her reasons for choosing it. It's not my album. But it's a good song. I'm not ripping on it. I just didn't really understand why that was the title that they chose to go with the album then. The fifth song is called TG4M, and it stands for Too Good For Me, and it goes along the idea with that there's the guy, for whatever reason, is too good for her. She's not like good enough for him, but she loves him anyway, or she wants him anyway, and she's gonna still, you know, pursue it or whatever. This isn't really an idea that I kind of go along with too much. I don't like to get wrapped up in that because who is anyone to say, you know, if you're good enough for somebody, and if you're thinking that you're not good enough for somebody, you might be exactly what that person is looking for or what that person needs. But it's still a good pop song, so I'm not ripping on it. It's just not one that I personally related to. The song Only You followed that, and it was also a solid pop song. But song number 7 was Never Forget You with MNEK. And I love this song. This is the first song of hers that I ever heard. I remember listening to it and trying to figure out who the singer was, because at different points in the song I thought it sounded like it could be some other pop artists out there, but it wasn't quite sounding like anyone specifically to me, and that's because I was not familiar with her yet. But this song has become one of my favorites. I love it because the message of the song, yes, it's definitely got a message, a clear one, and something that it's definitely talking about, but you can also relate it to different things. You can put it in different situations. It's not so specific that you couldn't relate it to anything else. And I love songs like that. I also really love the music video. I think it's so cute. So if you haven't seen that, I highly suggest it. It's great. I love that. that song was followed up by song number 8, Sundown, with Wizkid, which is another fun pop song. I think it shows off her voice a little bit more than some of the other ones on the album. I also found myself wanting to sing along and dance and move to it like right away. I don't know if it was just left over from Never Forget You or if it was because I was getting more into this, but I definitely really like that one as well. Song number 9 was Don't Let Me Be Yours, which talks about the idea of everybody makes mistakes. Don't let me be yours. So she doesn't want to be the mistake that this guy makes, and it's a good pop song. Number 10 is Make That Money Girl. I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit confusing to me as to whether it was supposed to be about her or if it was supposed to be her, like, empowering other girls to do what she does or whatever. But for whatever the message of it was supposed to be, it's just not, I don't think it's nearly as inspiring as they were hoping for in making it. It's a good song. I don't know how much beyond that it's really going to go, but it was good, but I just wasn't quite feeling it as much as I had hoped I would. Number 11 was Ain't My Fault, which is meant to be a fun and playful song and kind of like a flirtatious one. And it's a good song. It's kind of about giving up responsibility. Like, she's so into this guy, she can't be held accountable for the choices she makes, which is not exactly, again, kind of like the other song. It's not something that I personally really prescribe to and can relate to in any kind of way, but it doesn't really stand out as good or bad. It's just another song on the album for me. The next song was One Mississippi, and I definitely liked that one more. It's about kind of relationship struggles and has a little bit more of a mature feel to me than some of the other ones on the album, and so I really liked that one. But then we get to song number 13, and I want to point out that we still haven't heard a slow song on the album. They've all been like faster and definitely danceable, which is great. I'm not complaining about that, but at some point it kind of becomes a little bit monotonous and you feel like you're kind of listening to a lot of the same thing. A slow song would have kind of broken that up a little bit. But at 13 we come to a song called Funeral. So just looking at the name, I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe this will be that. And it was not. It still is definitely a more upbeat song, but I definitely wished it was slower, partially because of, you know, like I said, it starting to feel a little monotonous, but also with the words and everything, this is one of those songs that I think maybe possibly could have gone that direction, and I would definitely be interested in seeing an acoustic version or a slowed down version of this song at some point. Number 14 is I Can't Fall in Love with You. Or no, I'm so sorry. Number 14 is called I Can't Fall in Love Without You, and I was listening and I was like, finally, this is a slow song, and it definitely starts out, it's really pretty. Because it's already slower and different, it becomes one of my favorites on the album because it's going to stand out to me as something different from the rest. But then around the second verse, there's like this electronic beat stuff that kicks in, which was definitely, I felt, not necessary. It didn't really take away from the song, but it also didn't add anything to it, and in contrast to the rest of the album, I think I would have preferred if they kept to like a simpler arrangement of the song, but it was still a pretty song and I still really liked it, and that's I Can't Fall in Love Without You. And the 15th and final song on the album was Symphony with Clean Bandit. I love Clean Bandit as well. These are two different artists that come together and are able to complement each other really well. Their styles definitely work together, and I think that this song was definitely a really good closer. It kind of wrapped a nice little bow on the whole thing and kind of just, it represented everything that came before it very well, while also being its own song that I really liked. Overall, I would give So Good by Zara Larsson 3 out of 5 stars. There were definitely the standout moments that I really, really liked. Unfortunately, I felt like the album as a whole, though, was just kind of the generic pop album that you would kind of expect, but that could come from a lot of different places. She didn't really go anywhere that I thought made made any kind of impact or difference. It's a great album. I will definitely listen to it again at some point. But because it was just, it was exactly what I expected. Well, actually it wasn't, but because it's an expected album that really just kind of stays in its own little box. That's why I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 5. And now I'm interested to know what you guys think. So if you've listened to the album and have your own comments, please feel free to share them in the comment section below. If you liked this video, please feel free to like it so I know and possibly will make more. And if you're interested to see future videos that I may make in the future, feel free to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you all so much, and as always, don't forget to share them smiles. Ciao for now.